Thursday, November 6th. Today, big show. I will forewarn you, I am going to go heavy into TrendSpider because they just started their Black Friday sale. So get ready. It's going to be chart heavy, and it's going to be what are the benefits of this? They are giving you 70% off. 70% off. That $64 is what you used to pay for the standard. This comes with 52 training sessions per year, once a week. We will go over the math on this one because it is such a good sale. And they're throwing in goodies like Sidekick, 1 free premium indicator, 1 year of signal stack. We will go over all of that. I will go over listeners. I didn't ask them to do it, but they're throwing in testimonials about how good their year has been because of TrendSpider and the Seeking Alpha bundle. We'll go over all of that. We will go over why earnings aren't driving the market higher. This was asked on YouTube yesterday. I did a little bit more deep dive. We will go over that and what could go higher. We'll go over some of this. And Alpha Picks. We'll go over yesterday's phenomenal performance and just the history of Alpha Picks and the top 2025 stocks. Steve Kress yesterday wrote an article. They are up 45% on average. That's the average point. If you just bought one of each, you're up 45% year to date. That's blowing away the index, which I think the S&P is up like 13%. And you're up 45% and you paid just a little bit of money? Get out of here. You learned about PEG and beta. I'll show you RSI. What's one of the most oversold NASDAQ 100 stocks that I just bought? We'll go over that. What about past retail favorite, Lemonade? We'll go over that one. And then we're going to go into earnings and we'll go over the Tesla pay package with the shareholder meeting today, but also a trading tip. I was watching YouTube Live and I saw this kid trading a stock that was up 50%. So we're going to go over that. Now, what you're looking at here is TrendSpider, okay? You see me use this every day. And the black, I've been telling you for a week now, I didn't know the date that it was coming up. They don't tell me what the sale is. I just know Black Friday's coming up and TrendSpider always starts their Black Friday early. Now, where do you go to order this? The first thing you're going to do is go to linktr.ee/daily stock pick. And the reason you go there is because it's a cookie-based system. It puts you into my affiliate package. And when you go over there, anytime you click, I have to be the last click. Don't go out looking for coupons. There is no better offer in the market. I am one of their lead affiliates. That's why I'm on their channel all the time. They ask me to be on there a lot. So again, this is a great deal. Let's just go over this. Why this is phenomenal. Well, the price goes up in 3 days. You better order between now and Sunday because the price goes up. This is a decaying offer. It's not going to be 70%. It's going to move to 65%. So if you want to continue to save, buy early. Now this advanced tier, you are looking at prices, not per month, but it is on the annual plan. This is what it equals out to be. So this top tier, and I steer people towards this top tier. Remember, the last sale, this was like $94, and the sale before that, it was like $120. You're getting this tier for $64 a month when you pay for the entire year. Now, this is incredible because you get 20 open workspaces, which means you can design different charts on 20 different workspaces and just click back and forth. You get 100 trading bots, which is phenomenal because you can use that on 1 free year of Signal Stack Premium, which means you don't even have to set the buy and sell order. You can just hit a button and boom, it buys and sells for you. 400 alerts. Okay? 365 days out. I don't even have that. I have to reset mine every 90 days because I'm only on the premium plan as an affiliate. That's phenomenal. 1 minute charting. I get that. 1 minute back test. I don't back test for 1 minute, but you know what? If you're going to scalp, like I'll show you at the end of this video, at the end of this episode, you want 1 minute scanning. 25 Sidekick messages, but they're giving you 1 month of Sidekick AI for free. So you're getting a bump up. And then you get priority support. But the most important thing are the 52 training sessions per year. And this isn't like some course that you sign up for and you get a video of. You schedule this with a Zoom meeting with a product expert. Okay, so let me break this down, because this is the key. At $64 per month, you break that down and you look, divide it by 4, because average each month is 4 weeks. So once a week, you take a training session at $64 divided by 4. Just think about it. You're getting the TrendSpider. That's less than $15 per training session. And you get TrendSpider software for free. That's not including the cost. It's less than $15. Name a professional tool that you can get one-on-one Zoom training on to ask any question that you want. Not in a group. Not in a group. One-on-one. It's amazing. You need to act now. If the top tier, if that's $64, that's $700 per year is too much, go down to $500 per year. But look at the different benefits that you get, because the difference in price may be worth it. So don't underspend. And when you get any of these tiers, you get, again, look at the top, you get Sidekick AI. You get a free Chande indicator, which is like a $50 value, and 1 year of Signal Stack, which I think is like a $200 value. When you sign up for any yearly subscription, any of these 4 plans, you don't need to be on the highest tier. You get my 4-hour algorithm. You get all my custom watch lists. You get all the scanners that I use daily. The savings that you get is more than you will pay for the service. Don't miss on it. Don't sleep. And if you have this on your Christmas list, tell somebody, because you can start using it before Christmas for the next year. This is the sale that you want, so don't miss it. And I want to go over some things yesterday, because I was getting ready for the show and I heard from a listener who is a founding member, and founding members, they pay a lot more for the newsletter. But I've gotten to know him and we're personal friends. Super nice. He said my rants are the most fun part of this podcast, but he also wanted to tell everybody. And he said, you should be more forceful about it. He got TrendSpider in the Seeking Alpha bundle a year ago. It's changed his life. He has made tremendous amounts of money. He told me about ETFs he bought that he killed it on based on his research in Seeking Alpha and then using the 4-hour algorithm. He talked about defense and quantum, where his research led him to specific stocks. Didn't feel comfortable with it. He went with ETFs because they're less volatile than the single stocks. It's just a reminder that if you listen to me for a long time, stuff sinks in. The 4-hour algorithm is such a good tool in TrendSpider, and the Seeking Alpha bundle complement makes life so easy. Making sure that you know exactly what you're investing in. And FYI, I didn't ask about this. I put in a thread last night on Substack, and I said I'm working on tomorrow's podcast, and I'm going to highlight alpha picks, because this is what I was working on. And I thought I overbought the Monday pick. If you go and watch on the newsletter, okay? Go and watch the alpha picks live. This particular one right here, alpha pick scalping. I was pissed. I was like, I think I overbought this. I'm up 10% on that one. So I was a little bit pissed. And that's all I wrote on this. And then Larry and Eli, they come in. And I'll, in the newsletter, I'll block out their name, but you can go into the chat and just look at them. So if you are interested in these services and you don't believe me, say you don't believe me, just go and ask some of the other listeners about who have gotten it. Okay? Because I have thoughts about doing testimonial videos, but I think that's over the top. Most people tune in for the stocks. So again, this is a little heavy on the sales, but TrendSpider sale is out there. The Alpha Picks one is coming. I don't know the date, but it is coming. But do not wait on TrendSpider. Remember, the link tree is where you get everything. But get the TrendSpider deal. That's the thing. So I just want to put that out there in front. I'm sorry for the ad for anybody that didn't want to listen to it, but I do think it's important to point out the Black Friday sale is the greatest sale that you will get. The greatest one. Now let's talk about the markets, Because yesterday on YouTube Live, one of the listeners pointed out, and it was after I recorded the podcast, hey, why are these earnings so good and why aren't markets going higher? So I know the answer to this. It's because of the multiple on the S&P. So I went to a tool that everybody has, which is Perplexity. I don't subscribe to Perplexity. I don't pay them. So this is 100% everybody has access to this. So you don't have to pay for this tool. This is about me just having some knowledge. But you could ask AI, hey, why are earnings not pushing it up? The PE, the price to earnings ratio, okay? The price to earnings ratio as of August was 28.8 for the S&P. And if you read through this explanation, that is very elevated. It's above historical, both long-term and short-term, but it's nowhere close to the highs that we saw in the 2009 housing crisis where the PE was like 113. Okay, it's 28. With earnings increasing, that PE comes down. So the market, while it's not going up, it's getting cheaper because earnings are getting higher. It's still not cheap, but it's cheaper, which means that if we continue to see the hyperscaler spending, that AI continued growth, this should push the market higher. A healthy market will have pullbacks. And I say, have the most recent earnings in October for the S&P increased, pushing the PE down somewhat? Yes. Showed strong earnings. Approximately 83 of the companies beat earnings per share with a blended earnings growth of 9.2% to 10%. This marks the 9th consecutive quarter of earnings growth for the index. Again, growing it makes it cheap, but a healthy market will have pullbacks. We just haven't seen that. Go and look at a weekly chart. Go and look at a monthly chart. We haven't seen a pullback. This is the first red candle since March on month. And by the way, we're only down 1.8. The dips are being bought. Nobody knows where the market will be in 1 month, 1 year, or 5 years, but it's likely to be higher just based on assumptions. Think about it. Earnings, higher. Economy, it's strong, as we saw yesterday with job growth. Now you're seeing some news this morning about job weakness, but we don't have job numbers. But the one thing that and this is out there, and go and ask AI about it. Don't fight the Fed is the saying. While they may pause in December, it's clear Trump is putting someone in there next year that will absolutely reduce rates. They will be lower. And December's rate cut may be more likely. Because as you're looking at the news, year to year, U.S. job cuts, top 1 million, that's cuts exceeding 2024's full year goal. So again, are jobs getting hit? We don't have the government data, so the Fed may pause in December, but they may be behind the ball because when the government actually opens and we see those numbers, they may be forced to do a December rate cut. Now, what's going higher? Well, I published on the newsletter in August. I said, hey, AI names, and this is just memory. Seagate was up 10% yesterday. If you look at where I recommended this one back in August, this has been a great one. I alerted paid subs to it right here at $155. You're at $275 today. I'm sorry. In pre-market, it is $282. You have almost doubled your money if you were a paid subscriber and you took the risk. Now, I wrote that I like WDC, Western Digital, better. I also said, hey, SanDisk, SNDK is a great one. But again, do your own research. And that's what the tools are for. You can see Seagate's a hold, Western Digital's a strong buy, and Micron's a strong buy. Now, if you want to see a rally, this is the rally that we've been waiting for. If the Supreme Court pushes back on Trump's ability to actually do tariffs, you will see this market rise. And the odds of the Supreme Court upholding Trump's tariffs have cratered on the prediction market. Cratered on the prediction markets. Just, hey, they think the prediction markets, they think the Supreme Court will say Trump doesn't have the ability to actually put tariffs on stuff. And what are stocks doing today? They rise. They rose. But that's just on the assumption. Imagine if it actually comes through. But if you think that this is a bubble, AI rally shows familiar bubble signs, but market crash not imminent. Dario Perkins, and he points it out. The good news is that if the AI bubble bursts soon, say within the next 12 months, it's likely to have some big systemic implications. The stock market would sink, but there would be no reason to fear a genuine financial crisis or deep recession. Yet a longer lasting melt up would have more serious consequences. Again, he's saying if we melt up and we go up another 20% next year, maybe you could be dealing with a big one. But as of right now, everything seems to be okay. And if the bubble bursts, it's not a long-term bubble. It's a short-term. You're not going from 2000 to 2010 until you get back to these levels. Understand what you hold, understand what you have, and understand what the companies are like. And when the bubble bursts, maybe you go over here. You know, STX. Just look at a monthly candle of STX. Well, look at it. If that were the S&P, would you be comfortable with this? Maybe not. Would you be comfortable with in May? Would you be comfortable if the S&P was at 100, it going to 300 by the end of the summer? Maybe not. Maybe not. But the S&P hasn't gone from 100 to 300. It's just gone up by about 20, 30, 40%, which is a lot. But remember, we were so beaten down in an economy that was strong. So I pointed out yesterday, Alpha Picks. I went over this yesterday. It's outperformed since 2022. It's rules-based, so there's no fluff, or I think this is a good one. It's rules-based. They sell it and they buy it based on rules. It gives you a new stock pick on the 1st and the 15th of each month. You just need to buy a 1% position, and they tell you when to sell. Now, yesterday, there were 14 stocks in my Alpha Picks portfolio that were up more than 3%. 5 of those 14. I personally have more than a 100% gain in my portfolio. Again, recognizing that any dip in this market is being bought. And the Alpha Pick that I bitched about, I just went over this on Monday. I finally hit a 10% gain yesterday. I have to decide if I'm going to sell it. But if you were on live with me and you were buying that stock and you bought a bunch of it because Gary said, ooh, he just bought a bunch of it. And then I bitched about it and you were like, oh, maybe I'm going to sell. I didn't sell. I never said I was going to sell. I said I was going to reevaluate it. And I haven't reevaluated it. It's just been going up. By the way, that gain just from Monday till here Thursday would have paid for 10 years of the Alpha Picks portfolio subscription if I had to pay. Again, there is no guarantees for these, but it's a rinse and repeat formula that I have done all summer. And this points it out. These are the picks since June. 11.3, the pick is up 7.76%. I'm up 10%. Some reason I got it cheaper. You know, picked on 10-15, 23%. Picked on 10-1, 17%. This is the only loss since June. And you can see all of the picks here. 616, 7-1. 616's up 49%, 7-1, 44. It's all there. So again, Alpha Picks is my pick where I'm putting a lot of money going forward. And yesterday, or this week, we've kind of gone over, Seeking Alpha, all of their stocks. Well, the 2025 stocks, and Steve Kress releases this every year. And I'll just scroll down here so you can see we're in the fear index. He goes over a lot of this stuff. And here's the top 10 stocks for 2025. They boast excellent fundamentals as of today. Again, excellent fundamentals. Have they all been winners? No. 2025 returns so far, AGX up 98%, CLX up 236%, Credo up 156%, DXP up 41%. You've got EAT, which is down, INTA, which is down, LRN, which is down, OppFi, which is up, PayPal, which is down, and Urban, which is up. So again, total portfolio return, 44.79%. Now he's done this since 2023. I don't know if he shows 2023 and 2022. I don't think so. But in Seeking Alpha, you can go back and look at it. That is why you want the bundle. We just went over Alpha Picks, but premium comes with that. And in January, you're going to have another event. So it's just, again, rinse and repeat. Are you doubling your portfolio every year? Maybe not with this type of style. But again, the risk reward for me and other listeners is there. The two tools I use, TrendSpider, which is having the Black Friday sale, and Premium and Alpha Picks bundle, which is coming up next week or the week after, and you'll save a little bit more money. I don't know the offer, but they don't do huge discounts. So we learned about PEG ratio earlier this week. We learned about beta with the risk and reward, how far beta tests. And I told you to go, let's look at this. This is the top 10 NASDAQ most oversold stocks. This is RSI, Relative Strength Index, okay? These are the top 10. What I want you to do is go through these top 10 and tell me which one you think is actually oversold. They're all oversold, but which one has upside? There's one clear winner for me, and it's Meta, okay? And TrendSpider points out, find your diamond in the rough. Meta, they just did trailing PE of 23. It's as low as it's been, and yet the stock price is as high as it's been. That means it's cheaper today than it was in July of 2023, where it was trading at $300. It's cheaper today than it was in yes, it's at $600. Now, you need to find a strategy. My strategy has been, I've got an alert right now. When the 4-hour algorithm tells me to get in, it told me to get out here. Instead, I bought. I thought this was a dip. I think easily this gap gets filled. The only reason that this is down is because of Zuckerberg's spending. That's it. But they are cooking up something. He doesn't have all that talent sitting in a closet somewhere. They are cooking something up. So I like Meta. And so I've got an alert in the 4-hour algorithm to buy it. Find a strategy that works. RSI, MACD. Look at the MACD, how low it is. Look at the RSI. The RSI is that bottom number. You're on the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. They've expanded out. More than likely, they're going to contract. And when's the next move when they contract? We'll go and look at the weekly. Again, would you have bought back here back in April when the MACD was that low, when the RSI was that low? I did. What price did I get? Under $500. Do I think we're getting under $500 again? No. No. So again, I just bought a bunch and I will buy more. Find the tools that help you. And we'll go over a past retail favorite of mine. This was I used to trade this in 2020 all the time. Lemonade Insurance. This uses AI to determine your insurance rates. And what happened was during the Texas cold storm, I think it was 2022 or something, this one just crashed. And we can go and look at a chart on this one. Let's go and look at the historical chart where I used to trade this one. And this is the crazy part. In 2024, that's a 201% gain. But you go back. And the price back here in 2021, when I was trading this one, it is up at $182. We're just going to put a horizontal line in there. Because remember, I've said it all this week. Stock charts have memories. You had this golden cross of the blue line, that's the 50-day, across the 200. And the 200 is making a positive move. This weekly candle is a 30% move. The week before, 10% move. Is it a stock you want to buy? Well, the fundamentals look decent. They don't look great. But when you look at a 6-month gain of 162, maybe it's better. Maybe you want to find a strategy that works like the 4-hour algorithm. Makes you on average 180% with your over the last 2 years. If you bought and held, you're up 642%. It got you in down here at 50. You're trading at 78 just a couple of weeks later. So again, find a strategy that works, use the tools that you have, and find these opportunities. And by the way, it's all about earnings now. You go over the biggest stock movers on Thursday, Fastly up 16%. Why? Earnings. Snapchat, I may have said it a little bit blasé yesterday. Snapchat is a $10 stock. What did they do on earnings? They blew it away. And what's it up? 17% in pre-market. Where's it at? Let's see, $8.50. Would I expect this to hold? Nope. But you're going up here towards this gap, which has already been filled. I don't expect it to hold. I don't use Snapchat as much as I used to. But they announced a deal with Perplexity. Again, an AI deal. Boom. They're in. Then you got Metsera because what? Pfizer's going to buy them. Then you've got the biggest losers. And what are these all? Earnings. 21% on ELF. Why? Issued full-year outlook that pointed to notable profit compression. Duolingo. Shares plunged after the company issued softer than expected guidance. Qualcomm shares fell after the company delivered better than expected results and issued above consensus as shared. But remember, they had a shares reacted to a $5.7 billion non-cash charge linked to the One Big Beautiful Bill, which reduced GAAP earnings. Qualcomm, they're taking on AMD and NVIDIA. This is a stock that I think gets to 193. Where is it today? 176. It's right along that support line, which was resistance, which is an all-time resistance right there. You can see it. Long-time resistance. If it's holding at 175, then more than likely the 193 is in there. But again, I'm not invested in this one. It is a quality stock, but it's not my choice for chips. My choice for chips are NVIDIA, Credo, and AMD. And that's it. It's a hold in the stock. You can analyze with AI and find out why the quant has it as a hold. And the quant updates every night. This particular report was just generated on 11/6, so it's right after their earnings. So it's fresh. But if you have Alpha Picks, you have AppLovin. And AppLovin is up 7% in post-market. Why? Revenue growth target, self-serve platform gained traction, app beat and guided higher. It was brought down by a short report. And FYI, 4-hour algorithm had you in at 607. I had mentioned I wanted this under $600. Boy, it dipped on Monday to $589. Did I buy it? No. I should have. I have enough of it, but I need to add more. So I'm buying it at a higher price, $656 right now. Now it's high. We can put a little horizontal in the high. Right here, let's see, 727, right there. We'll put that 721, 727 is it. So that right now is a resistance until it can get through that. But that's an all-time high. That's an all-time high. So that's going to be tough to get through. Now, Unity Software killed it. We'll go over a couple of these. LYFT. LYFT killed it and had a much different reaction than Uber. I don't use LYFT. I use LYFT as a second thing. But they're seeing a huge increase in revenue and riders. So again, LYFT gets the benefit. Do I think LYFT is a better stock than Google? No. But the quant does because LYFT is a strong buy. LYFT is a super strong buy. Now, if you go and look at Uber, is Uber a strong buy? Yes. I'd rather have Uber. I think Uber's a $100 stock. At $92, you can easily make 8-9% right there. So I like that one. But another driver thing, DoorDash. DoorDash went the way of Meta. They started spending. And they got killed for it, down 11%. I think this was down as much as 20%. We can go and look at this. DoorDash. Because how does it trade in the 4-hour algorithm? It trades okay. I'm okay with 116% over 24 months. If you bought and held, you're up 232%. But what did it look like going into earnings? It looked weak. Would I have bought that going into earnings? 4-hour algorithm told me not to. Told me to get out with a little 2% loss. And now let's turn on the after hours and let's look at it. Because you've even gapped down a little bit. Now you've come back from 192 to 212. So I would tell you that probably 200 is not a bad price if you're looking for the short term to buy under and sell over. So if it gets under $200, maybe buy it and sell it over it. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? $294. But again, they're spending. That's the only thing that brought them down was spending. And one of my favorites, Robinhood, beat, but expenses exceed expectation. I don't care about expenses. This was down like 5-6%. It's up 4% yesterday, but it got beaten down. I don't care about expenses. You know what I care about? When Schwab was sticking their heels in the ground saying, we don't know if we're going to vote for Elon's pay package. You know what Vlad and the management of Robinhood did? They offered a 2% match for anybody who transferred their portfolio, brokerage portfolio, not IRA. You could do any portfolio over there, but as long as you held one share of Tesla, they would do a match. That's the management I want. Earnings per share up 260% year over year. Revenue up 100% year over year. And it dips? Are you kidding me? No, this stock will go higher. I like it. Now, is it going to go higher today? Going into market open doesn't look like it. But I don't care. I'm here for the long haul. And it is expensive. FYI, this is expensive. The quant has it as a hold, but they've had it as a hold for a very long time, since 40 and 50. And if you look at the factor grades on the quant, the valuation's an F. It's worse than 6 months ago. Why? Because 6 months ago, the stock was 200%. It's gained 200%, 196% in 6 months. Of course, the valuation is going to be stretched, but their growth is better. Their profitability, better. Momentum, the same. It's A+. Revisions, they're about the same, a B+, because one person brought their earnings per share down in the last 90 days. They are killing it. Why do I like this one? I just buy and hold. I still don't have a large enough position to feel comfortable, and I like it. But again, it is incredibly expensive compared to everything else. 79 times forward earnings. That's just their PEG ratio is 3.26. But again, in this market, I think they have more of a growth trajectory than others. Qualcomm, we just went over Qualcomm. They beat, but the chips were down. This brought every chip down in the market. Every chip was down because of this. But again, Qualcomm, they're taking on AMD, and that's not priced into the stock yet. Now, Duolingo got destroyed. Why? Because their daily active users and paid subscribers missed. The CEO tried to spin this like, we're focusing on valued subscribers, not the overall subscriber. Even with this huge cash position that these guys have, it just hasn't done well. Now, the 4-hour algorithm got you out here with an 11% gain. It performs better than buy and hold. You can see it, 211% versus 83%. Again, if you hold this in your portfolio and you want to trade it on the 4-hour algorithm because it beats buy and hold, TrendSpider is having a sale, just for instance. Now let's go over the pay package for Tesla, because today is the shareholder meeting. Shareholders have until midnight tonight to vote for Elon's pay package. What happens if it's denied? Well, I think the stock craters. Remember, Elon bought $1 billion worth of shares to try and manipulate and push this vote through. And it still may not be enough. If it's approved, I think the stock continues its trajectory. And it was up like 4 or 5% yesterday. It's at $461. Now, I will tell you that price is a little concerning because you can see right back here, the 2021 price, the high was 414. So if I just move that up to 414, here we go. You can see we've eclipsed it once, but you went all the way from 436 down to $214. You will have to deal with extreme volatility in this stock. And that's why I like the 4-hour algorithm. Over the past 2 years, it doesn't beat buy and hold. If you go back and look at the history a little bit longer, it does beat buy and hold. Now, I have traded this one in the past. I have not listened to every signal that the 4-hour algorithm gave me. Like that 443, I didn't trust the 443. I didn't do it. Either way, I will tell you, this should get passed. Why? Because it's the most fairly addressed executive pay package. I am not a big fan of these executives getting paid a ton while the stock goes down. You look at the Target CEO. You look at some of the Starbucks CEO. All of those guys who were let go, their stock cratered, and yet they had these golden parachutes. Elon, this is not a golden parachute. If the stock doesn't perform, he doesn't get paid. What does that mean? As a shareholder, you are going to participate in that gain. And yes, his pay package will be priced into the stock. So he's got to even perform better. And by the time the company is at that size and he steps away, it might be a benefit for him to step away. But right now, it's not. So I think that the actual stock craters. Go and read this one. Tesla's 2025 CEO Performance Award, aligning vision, execution, and shareholder value. I completely agree with this. This is what a CEO's pay should look like. Yes, it's exorbitant. But back in 2016, 2017, when Elon's first pay package was approved, you can see everybody thought it was crazy. He did it. And then what happened? Buyer's remorse. And somebody brought a lawsuit and they were able to pull that money back. It's unfair. It wasn't good for business. It made Elon it made him buy Twitter. It made him get into politics. It made him really, really upset. I think he's one of the greatest leaders. And you know, he may not be a good person, but I don't care. He built a great car. He built a great company. He deserved that pay package. Now, I want to give you a trading tip because I tuned into the YouTube Live. Some guy with like 200 subscribers was doing this trading. And I've got this, by the way, in the newsletter. You can go to the newsletter. You can go to the paid section. You can go to the education section and just look up confirmation. There's a search button right here that you can look up confirmation. But this particular stock, okay, STGW, may not look like anything that I would ever invest in because, again, it's upper left to bottom right. But this is a pre-market trading. And this particular trader had clearly had a system. And he was talking about support, resistance, and I'm watching this area and blah, blah, blah. Very similar to Ross Cameron. Well, this is a stock that pumped this morning. And it pumped very aggressively. And if you look at this, we can look at a 5-minute chart. That's usually what I'm pretty comfortable trading. I think this is what he was using. But again, confirmation simply means getting a moving average, and he had it. He had a moving average. And I remember telling either my girlfriend or myself, because I talk to myself a lot, but I remember STGW, I said at this point, I would buy it. Why? Well, it's up above the previous candle. It closed above the previous candle, and it looks like it's still moving, and it's above the 9-day. Very simple, and it's a very simple strategy. And when I was day trading, I was using Active Trader Pro. I wasn't using TrendSpider. TrendSpider just makes this easy, and it makes it simple to use. But my trading tip is, if you see something like this and you want to do it, I would typically trade between $10,000 and $50,000 positions. And I would look to be making at least $1,000 per day, not $1,000 per trade, $1,000 per day. And a setup like this is perfect. Because that first green candle right there, even if you bought on the open of the next candle, okay, the open of the next candle is $6.12. And then you get to this candle and you start to go lower. And say you sell at the low, which is $8.01. That's a really good gain on a $10,000 to $50,000 position that you added into. So again, it's all about sizing. And you could make this a weekly chart. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes. These are people that are just able to do this and able to find these things. Again, using a moving average to determine your confirmation. It's very simple. It's easy. But there's my trading tip for you, because you listen to 40 minutes of my rant and you listen to my platform of, hey, TrendSpider, it is the best platform out there. You could literally write in here a market scanner that says, find me any candle that is 10% higher than the close of the previous candle on any time frame. And it will scan for you. So say you hop on in the morning at 7 o'clock and you want to find out big movers. You can find those. Write the strategy. It is very simple, and you can see it right here. Describe what you're looking after and AI will help you. It writes it for you. You know, the 4-hour algorithm on this stock, shit. I wouldn't use it. Again, it's a upper left to bottom right stock. It wouldn't be a stock that I would trade for long term. But today, because of their earnings, they were up 50% in that pre-market. It was a big, big mover. Don't care why. But you could literally write that market scanner and every day start trading like that. And I guarantee you, you will get better at it. Will you make money? That's the market's decision, not anybody else's. It's the market that decides if you make money. Because like I said, if you look at these candles, you better have gotten out pretty damn quick. Because if you bought on this second candle right here at the high at 688, and then you waited for this candle, where guess where the high, you're only at 771. Still you're making, but you would have had to sell it to the high. So understand what you're doing. And FYI, the 52 training sessions per year, they can give you some help on, hey, if I'm looking at this chart, what am I seeing? And you know what else will give you help? One thing that they're throwing in for free, which is Sidekick. Tell me what I'm looking at. Tell me where I should have bought and held. Tell me where the support and resistance are. Tell me. Again, it's never a guarantee for you to make money. But when you throw these tools in all together, you throw in the TrendSpider platform, which is having its Black Friday sale. Do not wait on this. Pick one of these yearly subscriptions. Take a year. Actually learn this stuff. If you can't afford it, or if your portfolio is too small, put it on your Christmas list. Ask people to chip in. And then there's premium and seeking alpha, premium and alpha picks. This is a bundle. This is not on sale yet. It is coming up. I don't know when, probably next week. But don't sit on the TrendSpider and the charting. It is the most important tool that I can tell you has been. I built that 4-hour algorithm. Why? Because when I retired in January of 2020, I lost 40 to 50% of my portfolio over the next couple of months in COVID. And I said, I never want to do that again. So I wrote this 4-hour algorithm. I use it constantly with Apple, with adding and subtracting, with Amazon, which is a top 5 position in my portfolio. You can see it had you in here at 221. You're at 250 right now. I use it on Google. Had you in here at 247. You're at 284 right now. I use it on Robinhood to buy. You can see the alerts on Robinhood that I bought. I didn't buy this 152. I didn't feel comfortable with it. Got you out with a 17% gain. I didn't buy it on that one. I did buy on that 139. I use it on iBit, and I will buy the dip on iBit. I have bought it 63. I bought it 64. I bought it 66. I bought all that. I use this tool constantly. I am so confident in it that I give away my 4-hour algorithm when you sign up for and I got a message from a person the other day who's had it for like a month. He said, I can't believe you give this stuff away. So again, if you have any questions, everything's on Linktree, even my email address. I will talk to you tomorrow. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.